Hello, and welcome to a new student preview of Graduate and Professional Studies at St. Mary's College. As the title suggests, my goal in the next 30 minutes is to provide you with some insights into the student experience at St. Mary's and hopefully make your transition a little easier. Even if you haven't finalized your decision yet, and SMC is one of several schools you're considering, this presentation should give you a more complete picture of St. Mary's and the value we provide beyond our highly regarded academic programs. This webinar was developed by the Office of Graduate and Professional Studies, or as we fondly refer to it around St. Mary's, GPS. My name is Jane Joyce, and I'm responsible for recruitment and marketing. This presentation is designed to be an overview of facilities, resources, and services available to graduate and professional students, but is not intended to replace the orientations that will be conducted directly by your individual programs of study prior to your actual start date. Here's a summary of the topics we will cover: key resources and services, how to get around on campus, mundane things like paying your bill or setting up email, and critical things like where can I buy food, or where can I relax for a few minutes when there's a break, or I need a little excitement, what's fun to do around here? And of course, we'll have time for questions at the end. Here is a list of facilities, services, and resources available on campus. I'm also showing you a campus map on the right that clearly labels important locations. You can download it from the SMC website. Some of these resources, like the business office, the financial aid office, or the library, you will interact with by phone, email, or in person on a regular basis throughout your time here at St. Mary's. Others, like the Counseling Center or Public Safety, perhaps only in certain situations that may come up along the way. The main thing is that you remember that these resources and services exist and know that you can access them when the need arises. If you're as directionally challenged as I am, then the best way to orient yourself to our campus is to identify where you are in relationship to the chapel. So looking at this map, where my cursor is right now, that is the chapel. So as soon as you come down from St. Mary's Road, you'll come down this driveway here, and you will see the chapel directly in front of you, and that is a great way to orient yourself. And most of the classroom buildings are located in what we call around the chapel lawn, which is here. And again, the chapel is right here. Now, whether you turn right or left at the guard station, you will be on De La Salle Drive, which is a loop road that goes all the way around the campus. So you really can't, it's pretty hard to get lost around here. Either way you go, you will end up on De La Salle Drive. In the back of the campus is our conference center called the SOTA Center. And also back here is a McKeon Pavilion, which is where our St. Mary's basketball games are played. But mainly, you're perhaps most concerned with your classroom buildings, which largely are here around the chapel, as I said, and the business office, which is here turning left at the guard station in Philippi Hall, and the financial aid office, which is in right next to it in Brother Jerome West Hall. And you'll probably be looking to hopefully take advantage of the Recreation Center, the newest building on campus, which is over here towards the front of campus, if you turn right at the guard station. Let's see, what else did I want to mention about this? Well, let's just actually take another look at some of the familiar buildings. In this picture, you'll see, again, what I was referring to on the map as the chapel lawn. Here's the chapel in the distance. Over here is Garaventa, one of our classroom buildings, and next to that is Dante. And you can't see it over here on the far right, but over here is Filippi Academic Hall, which is one of our newest classroom buildings. And on the picture with the chapel, out of vision of the camera, to the left here is where the business office is, and also Galileo Hall, which is known. Your services and events on campus. Your SMC email address is where all campus communications will be sent. As I'm sure you know, you can set it up so that it forwards on to your personal email address, if that is your preference. You will need to have a parking permit to park on campus, which is free, yes, free, at least for now, from Public Safety. Just be sure that you park in designated student parking areas and not in the lots for faculty and staff, which is a surefire way of getting on the wrong side of your professor. Oh, just kidding, but just remember to look for the parking designation for students. And last but not least is Gale Express, which you will become very familiar with as you register for class, check on your grades, or pay your tuition. Here is all the contact information for the Student Accounts Department in the business office, which, as I mentioned, is located in Filippi Hall. They are there to help, so take advantage of the fact that you are attending a small school like St. Mary's, where you can still talk to someone person to person to discuss a problem or a concern, or just maybe to ask a question. And here's a closer look at Gale Express. As I mentioned previously, this is the site where you will log in to pay your tuition bill. You will be notified via SMC email when your bill is available to be viewed and paid. In addition to your tuition bill, Gale Express is also where you can search and register for classes, check your financial aid award, and view your grades. And actually, even prior to becoming a student, you can log into Gale Express as a guest and look at the course offerings for a particular term. There are two types of student loans, unsubsidized direct and graduate plus. The direct loan maximum is $20,500 per academic year, or $138,500 over a lifetime. There is no maximum for Grad Plus, which can be used to bridge the gap between the direct loan and the total cost of your attendance, including, if you wish, living expenses. You're not eligible for Grad Plus if you have adverse credit history, like a bankruptcy, late payer status, defaulting on a loan, or excessive credit card debt. You need to apply only once at the beginning of your program for the direct loan, but you must reapply every year for Grad Plus. And remember, if your program offers a Jan term, there's no regular disbursement of financial aid at that time. You will need to arrange for those funds to be added to the preceding fall disbursement or the following spring disbursement. So, for example, those people that might be starting in January term for the School of Education, you need to talk to the business office directly to make sure they understand the situation with your loan and that you do have funds coming, but they won't be coming until the start of spring term, which is in February. I can't guarantee that they'll waive the late fee, but it's well worth having the conversation. Everyone should complete the FAFSA, which stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is in case your financial circumstances change mid-year. Even if you don't intend to take out a loan, some need-based scholarships will require you to complete a FAFSA. A new FAFSA must be submitted at the beginning of every calendar year, but you are funded based on the courses taken during the academic year. which runs from July 1st through June 30th. Submitting a FAFSA automatically initiates the loan process once you've been accepted to your program of study. And the entire financial aid process can be handled via phone or email for your convenience. It's important that you know all full-time graduate students should qualify for $20,500 a year unless you have previously defaulted on a federal loan. That is for the unsubsidized direct loan. In terms of the types and sources of scholarships, here are a few. School-specific or program-specific. Here at St. Mary's, the School of Education, the Graduate School of Business, the MFA in Creative Writing, the MA in Kinesiology, and the MFA in Dance all offer partial scholarships for incoming or in some cases current students. Details can be found on their program websites. St. Mary's College offers assistantships or fellowships in the MFA in Creative Writing and the MA in Kinesiology programs. Details on these can be found on the program websites. Professional associations or organizations in your field of study, for example, California Association of School Counselors, the National Association of School Psychologists, or the American Association of University Women are a few examples. Disadvantaged categories, often there's scholarships for these categories. For example, minorities like the Hispanic Association of Schools and Colleges, single mothers, disabled, veterans, women returning to the workforce are just a few examples that you can Google. And search the web for scholarships. FastWeb, Peterson's, Student Scholarship Search, gradcu.com. When you research scholarship opportunities, be sure to note the application deadlines and award timeframes. Remember, you can apply for a scholarship, but being awarded one is not a given. So make sure you've applied for a loan amount sufficient to cover your needs. Then, if you are awarded a scholarship, you can always decline the disbursement for a particular term. The Financial Aid Office is more than happy to work with you and not disperse money that you would have to pay back and that you really don't need because of a scholarship. Once you finish your program and it's time to repay your loan, which is usually 6 months after you graduate, there are now income-driven repayment plans designed for those in repayment experiencing partial economic hardship because their outstanding federal student loan debt is higher than their annual income or represents a significant portion of their annual income. However, these options you must apply for and qualify for. So income-based repayment, coupled with working for 10 years in a school, a hospital, the military, government, really anything in the nonprofit sector, qualifies as eligible employment for public service loan forgiveness. So again, the way this would work is you'd make a smaller payment for the 10 years, in which case there would be a balance remaining at the end, but if you've been working in public service, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program will forgive that balance. So that's how that works. And income-based, it's important to remember, with income-based, just as the word would suggest, your payment is based on your annual income, not on how much money you owe. So to get more information on financial aid, you should register for one of my monthly financial aid webinars. You can find the registration link on the Graduate and Professional Studies calendar webpage. The next one will be actually next week on December 15th from 4:15 to 5. Through the St. Mary's Business Office, you also have the option, say you have enough funds to pay for your education, but you just like to, as I say, divide and conquer the payments. So you can set up an option with the business office to make a monthly tuition payment to make it more manageable. You can find the contracts for each of the programs on the business office website, But remember, if you want to exercise this option, you need to submit your application for it before the start of each term. Also new this year is the SALT Financial Literacy Program, which is available to you throughout your time at St. Mary's and also as an alum. This value-added service provided by the Financial Aid Office is an online tool that offers help with managing your finances and loan repayment, as well as loan debt counseling and advocacy. It even has a job, internship, and scholarship search function. This is something that's unique to St. Mary's. There are other schools that have paid to offer this service to their students and alumni, but not every school will do so. And St. Mary's is one of the few that I'm aware of that uses this in the Bay Area. So this is new, and we're really excited to be able to offer it to our students and alumni. We have two primary dining options on campus, Oliver Hall and Cafe Louie. Oliver Hall offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the week, and brunch and dinner on weekends. The late night dining program offered nightly gives students a break from studying and a place to gather with friends and have a sandwich, grab a burger, or enjoy an ice cream. In the morning, Cafe Louie has fresh brewed selection of Starbucks coffee and a variety of fresh baked pastries. And for lunch, you can choose from a delicious assortment of to-go salads or sandwiches. You can download what we call Flex Dollars onto your student ID card, and you'll receive a 20% discount when you're purchasing food at either of these locations or even some off-campus spots in Moraga. We are very excited about a new space that we are opening. We have just opened this camp on campus this fall. We'll actually have our grand opening in spring term on February 11th. But this space is specifically to serve our graduate and professional student population. This new Graduate and Professional Student Resource Center is located conveniently between Oliver Hall and Cafe Louie and offers a comfortable lounge area, a study area, and a private technologically equipped conference room that will comfortably seat 16 students for group meetings, project collaboration, and workshops. And it will be possible for students to reserve this space in advance. So we look for more news on the grand opening on February 11th. We'll be, all the GPS staff will be there. There will be food, and we'll be there to answer questions as well. Nearly 3 years after its proposal, a new recreation center that gives St. Mary's College students a place to exercise and just hang out opened its doors last spring. It's truly a beautiful spot with a wonderful pool, climbing wall, 3 indoor courts for basketball, soccer, and volleyball, a fitness center, which I personally enjoy using, and rooms for yoga, dance, and spinning classes. The new recreation center has really a lot to offer for all of our college community. There's even a Jamba Juice located inside offering fresh fruit smoothies as well as an assortment of to-go salads or sandwiches. But the use of this recreation center is free to you as a St. Mary's student. This is a list of additional campus resources available to our students. I'll comment on a few of them. One of the great things about our library, which is pictured here on the very bottom, is the level of assistance our librarians provide. You can call them, you can email them, or chat, or text them. You can meet with them in person when you need help with a search strategy, a topic for a research assignment, or with a selection of appropriate electronic resources and reference materials. And I've taken advantage of their assistance myself as a student, and they really are extremely helpful. The Writing Center, which is pictured at the top right, is really a very welcoming, friendly environment. It's student-run and student-oriented. Their advising strategies there have shown tangible results in terms of the quality of student writing. And their goal is to make writing accessible and manageable for all students. This facility, newly located on the first floor of De La Salle Hall, is really an advantage to students, graduate students that really want to hone their writing skills. And of course, all graduate and professional students are invited to utilize the services of the Career Center, which is, well, at least the sign is pictured in the middle of the screen there. They are located in Brother Urban Gregory Hall. For those who'd like to get involved in a leadership opportunity on campus, we have the Graduate and Professional Student Advisory Council. The GPSAC, as it's called, provides input to campus leadership regarding the student experience and how it can be improved. This organization also helps to build community across the various GPS programs. Also, the Academic Honor Council is another opportunity. This body reviews academic dishonesty and is another opportunity for GPS students to make a contribution to the campus community. And you'll find within your various programs, the School of Education, Graduate Business, that there are also alumni associations that you'll be able to take advantage of once you complete your study here, to continue to keep that those communication lines open between you and your fellow students. And here's a list representing what I call the icing on the cake when you attend St. Mary's. Let me highlight a few of them. If you're inspired by images, by soft brush strokes or bold, bright colors, check out the St. Mary's College Museum of Art. The museum is located behind the chapel and across the street from the Soda Conference Center. Our Legacy Garden is a half-acre garden plot which grows pesticide-free food for the student dining hall. It's located behind one of our residence halls, and it's maintained by student and faculty volunteers. We regularly have farmers markets on campus where produce from the garden is sold at very reasonable prices. And even plants. I bought my tomato plants earlier this spring during one of these farmer markets, and then was able to plant them. And they have a lot of the heritage variety of plants, or heirloom, I should say. Searching for that word. We also have our own observatory here at St. Mary's. The Geisberger Observatory is located in the hills beyond the campus, and it's a great place to get away from the commotion of campus life and be a little closer to the stars. If you take the Mission Road towards the townhouses, you'll find a little dirt path leading to the observatory. The Lafayette-Moraga Regional Trail is an almost 8-mile linear park that parallels through Lafayette and Moraga, and a portion of the trail lies directly across the road from St. Mary's. If you walk about a quarter-mile down, you'll find a little park known as the Moraga Commons that includes a place for a game of catch or bocce ball. And also the Redwood Grove, I'd like to mention. It's located at the end of Gale Way. It's on the very edge of SMC's campus. The Bertain Redwood Grove is surrounded by these towering redwood trees, and it's an excellent place to study, to write, or even to meditate. And as a graduate or professional student, we're very clear that your desired outcome is to successfully complete your program of study and attain that degree that will hopefully open new doors of opportunity in your future. And these are pictures of actual graduates from our programs last spring, excited to finally have completed the pathway to their advanced degree with family and friends there to cheer them on. If you have any questions now, please type them in, and I'll attempt to answer them for the entire group. Also, you will receive a follow-up email from me providing an overview of what was covered today. I want to thank you, and I hope you found this session beneficial and feel better prepared to take full advantage of all that St. Mary's has to offer you as a graduate or professional student. We look forward to seeing you around campus soon. Take care. I'm going to pause here for a little bit to see if there are any questions from the audience. Please feel free to type them in. And if you prefer to send me an email directly, you have my contact information here and also my phone number. I'm available either way, and my colleagues of all are there as well. And okay, it looks like we had a couple of questions. Oh, I have a thank you. Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Any other specific questions for me? Looks like I had some audio problems there for a moment. So I'll just say one more time, if you have any questions that you would like to pose, now would be the time. Oh, here we go. In addition to the thank yous, which I really appreciated, someone is asking the question, if I audit a class, can I use the recreation center? That is a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. If I had to answer the question, I'd say probably no, because I don't think you have to use your student ID, SMC ID card. I'm not sure that something like that is issued to you when you just audit a class. But if you could send that question again to me in email, I can get a definitive answer and send it along to you. The class is not offered at St. Mary's. Are we allowed to take it at another college? You are able to transfer some credits in, but there is a limit to that because there's a residency requirement in terms of us awarding you a degree or a credential. You have to be in residence for a certain number of units. So you need to check with your particular program to see, they would need to evaluate your transcripts and determine what on there might be transferable or could stand in for, first the credit for another, for a class that we offer or is not exactly what we offer, but close to it for the requirement. Okay. Do I need to matriculate to take a single class? No. You can enter as a non-matriculating student as space is available. So it depends. Some, the counseling program, for example, oftentimes their classes can be more full, but it's not. It doesn't hurt to ask if you're a non-matriculant, or to take a single class. Yes. Are all books available at the bookstore? Yes, most instructors try to work with the bookstore to have their books stocked in the bookstore, but sometimes that the books are back ordered. I've had that experience myself as a student. but they usually try to get them in. You also will find that you can order books through Amazon as well. And of course you can rent books now. So there's a number of options. Just make sure that you get the specified edition that, and not too old of an edition, or I'm embarrassed to say I actually ordered a book with the exact same title, not at the bookstore, but through Amazon. It was the wrong book. So I quickly was able to remedy that. But to pay attention to the author and the publish date. How do you join a club if you attend the TGEMBA, applying to the TGEMBA program? Well, I think any of the clubs are, available to you. And I think once you get on as a student, you can explore what's available on campus to take advantage of, and I think that also Grad Business may have some suggestions for you directly about that. Okay. Well, that may have been, how do you join a club? Okay, I think I answered that question. So do some investigation on the website of the club that you might be interested in student life. Now, some of them may be geared more to undergrad, so you need to explore that. But some of them would be appropriate, for a student at any level. Okay, I think I will then wrap things up at this point. If you think of something after I've signed off, feel free to email me and I'll try to get back to you. And I hope you all have a great evening and a wonderful holiday season, and we look forward to having you here on campus, as I say, soon. Take care. Bye.